You're watching the 2023 City of Detroit Political Overview with Khary Frazier of Detroit is Different and Malachi Barrett of Bridge, Detroit. And this brings me to, are there any pending ordinances that council intends to introduce in 2024?
Yeah, definitely. So there's, I mean, we'll need to keep talking about taxes for a minute. There's some discussions. Councilwoman Angela Whitfield Calloway actually has introduced a resolution that will probably get introduced sometime in January, maybe early February, asking the state legislature to enact an arena surcharge, an entertainment tax on downtown arenas, which has been tried before in the state legislature. There were bills introduced in 2017, 18, and 19. Coleman Young II was actually what he was a state senator, tried to get this done. None of them really moved forward. They didn't escape from committees that, before it goes to
never got out.
Vote. Yeah, never even got a vote in the state legislature. But there was an attempt by Council President Sheffield during the District Detroit conversation to add an arena surcharge as part of the community benefits deal. And so I think across the board, there's some support for doing something there. City council is kind of limited in what they can do. I mean, anything that involves taxes, you have to get state law changed. But that's on the board as something that will be talked about. Like I said earlier about over-assessments, there's going to be continued efforts. The council president, who brought forward some of those assessment changes, said she's not done there. Surveillance oversight is a big thing that could be coming. We talked to some folks at the end of this year about some frustrations with this.
So when you say surveillance, like Project Greenlight and some of the, shout out to Wanda Honeycomb Petty, so much of her work goes right into this, like facial recognition and things like that.
Yep. So any city department that wants to buy surveillance technology, which could be something that, records your face, could record your voice, fingerprints, takes pictures of you. I mean, we all kind of know what surveillance is when we see it, right? It needs to follow certain rules under an ordinance that was passed in 2021. And basically it creates more transparency. The reports are supposed to be made and publicized so that residents can get an understanding of what this stuff actually does before it's approved. There needs to be regular reporting on what data is being collected, how is it being used, what's the effectiveness of these things, why are we spending the money, is it a good use of money, essentially. And what we found is that the ordinance has not really been followed and has not been very effective even when it has been followed. And what I mean by that is a lot of the reporting that was supposed to be done, these annual reports haven't been created. They couldn't provide them to us when we tried to ask for them. And the reports often came late for the specific technology. So there's, two different kinds of reports. There's annual reporting on all the different surveillance technology. And then when something new, when a department wants to buy something new, reports have to get made. But the biggest thing is there's this loophole in the law where anything that's already been in place before the ordinance, which includes green light, which includes shot stopper, which includes license plate readers that take cameras of your car as it passes by at intersections. They're not actually required to follow some of the disclosure reporting because of that loophole. It kind of exempts a lot of the things that we're already using. So community members in the ACLU and some different advocacy groups have been talking with President Sheffield and Councilmember Santiago Romero about making changes. Santiago Romero is on the Public Health and Safety Committee, which kind of sees a lot of these contracts first. And so they're really interested in making some changes. That's a big thing that will be coming next year that we're going to want to keep an eye on. Okay. Fred Durhal, Councilmember Durhal, is working on some creative ways to get some relief to pensioners, city pensioners who were
lost a lot of their pension in the
bankruptcy.
Yeah, as my godmother would say, the false bankruptcy. Continue.
Yeah, they got the raw end of that deal for sure. And so he's trying to find some ways to make good. I mean, especially cost of living adjustments and healthcare payments have been really tough for people. So again, I mean, that's going to encounter some kind of legal battles because it again is it encounters that thing of, can you give direct money toward people? There was an argument he was trying to make that you should be able to use federal ARPA money because a lot of seniors were disproportionately affected by COVID. And so that creates kind of a path forward, but the law department disagreed with that, and so there's going to be some back and forth on that probably as well. Yeah, those are some major things that come to mind. We also are going to see some big developments coming through. There's a big Henry Ford project that just completed its community benefits deal. You know, that's worth $2 billion and includes some housing with Tom Gores and the Pistons. And then there's a new hotel project down on the former Joe Louis site near those waterfront luxury apartments, and a new CBO process will start for that too.
And will both these projects be receiving a lot of tax abatement money?
So the Henry Ford thing is interesting because there's so it's, you know, 2.2 billion, or it's $3 billion total for this whole project. It includes a lot of different things. Henry Ford's a nonprofit, and so they don't pay taxes and they can't receive tax breaks. Their hospital expansion is worth $2.2 billion out of the $3 billion. Okay, so most of the investment for that project is going into the hospital expansion that won't receive tax breaks. However, you know, the other kind of biggest piece of that project is 3 apartment buildings that are being built by the Pistons organization. Shout out to the 2 and 26 Detroit Pistons, right?
Hey, there we go. That's my favorite sport, but right now my favorite team is not the best.
Sorry, I had to bring that up.
Yeah.
So they're building housing, and they're looking for tax breaks that would, like 80% of the tax breaks basically would go to fund those housing projects. And so that's all kind of lumped in together as one.
So here goes another one of those things. Will it be affordable? And this will be a discussion. So let's keep a pulse on that, which moves me to our next question.